What if I told you that one move could completely reshape the future of the Philadelphia Eagles? Not just tweak the roster, but redefine their identity heading into the next NFL season. Well, that's exactly what just happened, because Howie Roseman has finally spoken, and what he confirmed has left fans shocked, excited, and honestly a little nervous. This isn't just another off-season update. This is big. And if you're an Eagles fan, you need to hear every detail of this. Welcome back to the channel, where we break down the biggest and most important NFL stories with real insight and zero fluff. If you love deep analysis, breaking news, and everything about the Eagles, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Today, we're diving into a major announcement that could change everything in Philadelphia, and trust me, this one is worth your attention. So here's what went down. Howie Roseman, the mastermind behind the Eagles' roster construction, recently addressed the media and confirmed a significant organizational update. Now, this wasn't presented as some flashy headline move, but when you really listen to what he said, and more importantly, what it means, you start to realize just how impactful this is. Roseman emphasized a clear shift in strategy. Instead of relying heavily on short-term fixes or patchwork solutions, the Eagles are doubling down on long-term sustainability, roster depth, and internal development. Now that might sound simple on the surface, but in reality, it signals a major pivot in how this team plans to compete moving forward. This is a franchise that has always been aggressive. We've seen bold trades, big contracts, and win-now decisions. But now, it feels like the Eagles are recalibrating, building something that can dominate not just this season, but for years to come. Let's break it down, because this is where things get interesting. When Roseman talks about sustainability and depth, he's essentially saying that the Eagles want to avoid the boom and bust cycle that many NFL teams fall into. You go all in, you compete for a championship, and then suddenly you're stuck rebuilding. Instead, Philadelphia is aiming for consistent contention. That means smarter drafting, better player development, and more calculated spending. It also means tough decisions, letting certain players walk, resisting overpaying in free agency, and trusting younger talent to step up. For fans, this can be a mixed bag. On one hand, it's exciting because it suggests long-term success. On the other hand, it might mean fewer splashy moves in the short term. And let's be honest, Eagles fans love big moves. The reaction from fans has been intense, and honestly, it makes sense. This isn't the typical "we're going all-in" message that many were expecting. Instead, it's more measured, more strategic, and that can feel surprising, especially after years of aggressive roster building. Some fans are thrilled. They see this as a smart evolution, a sign that the front office is thinking ahead and avoiding mistakes. Others are skeptical. They worry that being too cautious could cost the team a chance to win right now. And then, there's a third group, the ones who are just trying to figure out what this means for their favorite players. Because whenever there's a shift in strategy, it usually comes with changes to the roster. This is where things could get really interesting. If the Eagles are focusing more on youth and development, we could see increased opportunities for younger players. Draft picks become more valuable. Depth players suddenly matter a lot more. At the same time, veterans with large contracts might face uncertain futures. Not because they aren't talented, but because the team has to balance performance with financial flexibility. Roseman has always been known for his ability to manage the salary cap creatively, but this new approach suggests he's being even more strategic. Every move now has to align with the bigger picture. And here's the thing, this isn't happening in a vacuum. The NFL is evolving. Teams that build sustainable success are the ones that stay competitive year after year. Look at the top franchises, and you'll notice a pattern: strong drafting, smart contracts, and a clear vision. The Eagles are trying to position themselves in that category. They don't just want to win, they want to stay winning. And that requires discipline, patience, and a willingness to make tough calls. So what should fans expect this season? Well, don't expect the Eagles to suddenly become passive. This is still a competitive team with high expectations. But the way they approach decisions might look different. You might see more emphasis on player rotation, more trust in younger talent, and fewer risky moves. The focus will be on building a complete team, not just a star-studded lineup. And honestly, that could make them even more dangerous. Because a deep, well-balanced roster is often what separates good teams from great ones. Of course, with a move like this comes pressure. A lot of pressure. Roseman is essentially asking fans and the organization to trust his vision. And in the NFL, that's never easy. If this strategy works, he'll be praised as a genius. If it doesn't, the criticism will be loud and relentless. That's the reality of being in charge of a team like the Eagles. But if history tells us anything, it's that Roseman knows how to adapt. He's taken risks before, and more often than not, they've paid off. This is where things get real. Fans want wins, and they want them now. Patience is hard, especially when you know your team has the potential to compete at a high level. But building something sustainable requires a different mindset. It's not just about the next game or even the next season. It's about creating a foundation that can support long-term success. And that's exactly what the Eagles seem to be aiming for. At the end of the day, this announcement from Howie Roseman isn't just about strategy, it's about identity. It's about deciding what kind of team the Eagles want to be. Do they want to chase short-term success, or do they want to build something that lasts? Based on this update, the answer is clear. And while it might not be the most exciting approach in the moment, it could be the one that pays off the most in the long run. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think this is the right move for the Philadelphia Eagles? Or should they stay aggressive and keep making big moves? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get the conversation going. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more real NFL insights like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. And as always, stay tuned because the next big story is always just around the corner.